Starting off first with a 1951 proof Jefferson nickel. What you want to look for on the front of your coin is doubling. So look for that on the face here as well as on the lettering of the coin. You can look for this doubling up close with your USB coin microscopes. You could really see it there on the T of trust. I have those microscopes available on couchcollectibles.com. Alright, so here is that 1951 double die obverse. It is the proof coin, graded at a proof 66, so the coin is in pretty good condition, and this coin sold for over $140. Next up for the 1951 Jefferson nickel. This coin here was struck on a thin planchet. It only weighs 3.5 grams. And because of that, this 1951 nickel sold for over $140 as well. So that's pretty cool. Let's move on to the 1951 S mint mark. Now this coin is solely valuable because it's got a high grade of a mint state 66, graded by PCGS. This coin here sold for over $2,900, so nearly a $3,000 coin. Now for the 1951 proof that doesn't have a double die obverse, it's just got a really high grade of a proof 67. This coin sold for over $5,000. 5 grand. But even a more expensive coin here is a 1951 no mint mark. It's graded at a mint state 67, and this coin here sold for over $16,000. Now keep in mind, if you find a 1951, it's all scratched up and it's in bad condition, it's pretty much a low graded coin, then it's not going to sell for $16,000. So moving on to another high graded coin. Again, this is why the coin is valuable. This 1951 D mint mark sold for over $3,800, nearly a $4,000 nickel. So always be on the lookout for that doubling on the 1951 and the different types of errors. You can also always look for off centers and things like that. But let's check out these other nickels that are worth money. First up is a 1913 Type 2. Now I've discussed Type 1, Type 2 in my other Buffalo nickel videos, so be sure to check those out. Now this 5-cent coin was struck on a 10-cent planchet. It only weighs 2.5 grams. You can see that the whole design of the Buffalo nickel did not get on the coin, so it's kind of cut off there. We got Liberty cut off, United States of America cut off on the reverse. Now this coin here sold for over $46,000. $46,000. Now this next one is a very, very awesome coin. This is a 1943 S 5-cent coin, a Jefferson nickel that was struck on a 1-cent planchet. Now it only weighs 2.8 grams. Now this one was actually struck on a steel penny. So you guys know the steel pennies from 1943? This nickel was actually struck on a steel penny pretty much. So this is supposed to be a 35% silver nickel, as it is from 1943. Now this coin here, because of that error, because of the high grade, sold for over $18,000. Next up is a very interesting coin. Now this is a 1979 Jefferson nickel that was struck on a steel washer. Now it only weighs 2.5 grams, and you can see the hole in the middle of the nickel there. That is pretty amazing. I'm not sure how errors like this would possibly happen, but it is amazing. Now this coin here is sold for over $4,800. Moving right along to a 1993 penny. Now these are some of my favorite types of coins. It's a 1993 nickel, I guess to be exact, overstruck on a 1992 penny, 1-cent planchet. Now we can see the design of the Lincoln Memorial, the reverse of the penny there on the front of the nickel, which is awesome. I absolutely love this. I cannot wait to find one of these in my pocket change or from a coin roll from the bank. Now you can see Lincoln's head there on the reverse of the nickel as well. That is pretty awesome. I really want to find one of these coins. These are probably my favorite type of error coins out there. Now this coin here sold for over $6,900. Moving right along to a no-dated 5-cent coin. Now this Jefferson nickel has been struck on a 1999 Roosevelt dime. So we see the 1 dime there, as well as Jefferson's head from the Jefferson nickel. And then we also see Roosevelt's head there on the reverse of the Jefferson nickel. So that is pretty awesome. Absolutely love these coins. This coin here sold for over $5,400. Moving right along to a 1968's proof coin that has been double struck. Now this is a very obvious error. That would be crazy. Now this coin here sold for over $4,600. Next up is a 1920's Buffalo nickel. Now it's been double struck with the second strike being 80% off center. We can clearly see that in the image displayed. Very noticeable error. Very, very difficult to find something like this. This coin here sold for over $8,000. Now next up is a 1907 V nickel. Now this V nickel here was struck 25% off center. So we can see that there in the image displayed. Off center error. You can look for off center errors on all different types of coins. This coin here sold for over $2,700. This is a really cool one here. This is a 1924 Buffalo nickel that was struck on a 1-cent planchet. So that is pretty amazing. We see that the coloration of the nickel is that of a penny. And that's because it was struck on a 1-cent planchet. Now this coin sold for over $28,000. $28,000. Now this next one here is pretty similar. However, this 1936's Buffalo nickel was actually struck on a 10-cent coin. So a 10-cent planchet. Now we see that the whole design of the Buffalo nickel was cut off. It's not fitting on that planchet all the way. And this nickel sold for over $9,700. Here is a 1970's. Now this coin here has been graded by PCGS at a mint state 66 with full steps. So if you're not familiar with coin grading scale only goes up to 70. 66 is at that top. So it is a very, very high graded coin. That's what gives it a lot of value. A regular 1970 is a very common coin, but when you get into grading coins, and this being a high grade, that's what gives it a lot of value. Now it also has full steps, and we can see here in this image, I've showed this in my other videos. I've talked about full steps more in details in my other nickel videos. So if you're interested more in what full steps here is on the Jefferson nickel, be sure to go check out those videos. Now this coin here sold for over $6,000. $6,000 for a 1970 Jefferson nickel. Now this is just something to look for on the 1975 Jefferson nickel. I've explained this in another video as well. So if we look here on the left side, this Jefferson nickel here on the left side, if we look at the D mint mark, remember where that D mint mark is. It's kind of centered in there and with the design right underneath the 5. But if we look at the 1975 here on the right side of the screen, you can see how high that D mint mark and how close it is to the 5. So that is what you want to look for. You want to look for the one on the right. It is called a misplaced mint mark, and we can see that better here in this image here. So always be on the lookout for the 1975 misplaced mint mark. It is placed really high and really close to the 5 there. Super simple coin to look for. All you have to do is put it underneath your coin microscope. I have those available right now on couchcollectibles.com. Feel free to get you one. A link is in the comments below. Alright, so next up is a 1974. Now this one is a 1974 D Denver minted Jefferson nickel. It has some really nice toning to it, and it is graded at a mint state 67, so that is why the coin is extremely valuable. This coin here sold for over $1,600. Speaking of 1975, here's a 1975. It is a mint state 67 grade by PCGS. It also has the full steps. It's a really nice looking coin with that high grade. That is where the value comes from. Again, this coin here sold for over $2,800. Next up is a 1976 Jefferson nickel graded by PCGS at a mint state 67, again with full steps, and this coin here sold for over $4,000. Moving right along to a 1977 D. This is graded at a mint state 67 as well, again with full steps, and because of that high grade and that full step designation, this nickel sold for over $2,500. Next up is a 1978 D Jefferson nickel, again with a grade of a mint state 67 with full steps, and this nickel sold for over $1,900. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.